Here's a hot take coming.
All right.
Johnny Hecker, who put all 5 punts within the 10-yard line last week, boomed a punt and gets it returned. I'm going to say Johnny Hecker's punt, too good. Gave King Grant too much room to run, screwed up everyone's angle. Next thing you know, scores a touchdown. Johnny Hecker, too good of a punt, cost the Chargers Rams points. This segment's terrible.
I'll fix it.
You know how I'll fix it? I didn't even go yet.
Go to an old, trustworthy line. Old people, be lying. David Falk, you're old. Guess what that means? You be lying. Michael Jordan's agent, guess what he said? If MJ played today, he'd average 50 to 60 on 75% shooting. I actually like and endorse this take, Jenna, because it reveals so much of the Jordan nostalgia for what it is, revisionist history. Why stop at 60? Why not 80 points a game? Why stop at 75% from the field? Why not 90% from the field, David Falk? Definitely, it's doable and believable.
It's true. It's true. He's right.
I love the take. I love the Steelers. Not only did they beat a good Ravens team yesterday, they're 7-0, they're undefeated, but what I love most about them is after the game, just the way they took it all in stride. You know, they came back to the locker room and they were obviously going over some notes, what we did well, what we didn't, a couple of routes we could have improved. Just, they really took it all in, very understated. I'm just kidding. That's obviously not what happened. What happened was they were all sitting around and someone came in and said, hey guys, guess who we're playing next week? They said, who? They said, the Dallas Cowboys. And then jubilation erupted absolutely everywhere because they're going to be 8-0 before they blink again. All right. On to Cam Newton and the Patriots. Absolutely desperate for a win up in Buffalo, and they actually came close. Patriots needing a field goal to force overtime or a touchdown to win. They would get neither because of that right there. Bills defense knocking the ball out of Cam's hands. New England loses. They are now a shocking 2-5. They've lost 4 in a row. Here's your quarterback, Cam Newton, after the loss.
You know, I still am jeopardizing this team's success because of my lackluster performances of protecting the football. So, you know, Coach trusts me with the ball in my hands, and I wouldn't want it any other way, and I just got to do a better job with protecting it. So, yeah.
You know, we talk about Cam and this accountability week after week. At some point, he's going to have to do something about it and not just take the blame. So, Wilds, let me start with you as a resident Patriots fan. Did that fumble basically end the playoffs for the Patriots yesterday? Playoff chances for the Patriots?
No, it didn't. The fumble was bad, and when we went to the sidelines, I was like, oh, is Cam going to start to cry? Because old KW was crying when he saw that. It was actually like a heartbreaking fumble, like no irony or no sarcasm. I really felt like sad, and you could feel like Cam was about to get a win, was about to get everything back on track, and he really felt terrible. So the good news for Cam and Patriots fan is we're still in it. We are not mathematically eliminated. And I know it's like, all right, well, that's a last-ditch effort, but it's fine. Look at the Bills schedule. Look at the Patriots schedule. We're okay. If we come out of, if we lose next week, I mean, I don't know what is going to happen in the show. Now, granted, we're 2-5. Not fantastic. Since 1990, 7 teams have made the playoffs at starting 2-5. Now, granted, we don't have enough time for the 137 other teams that didn't, but pay no mind. Now we got an extra playoff spot. We're doing okay. So until we're mathematically eliminated, and we give some time for a Hall of Famer Julian Edelman's knee to come back because our receiving core is a little banged up, Brandon, I'm still feeling, believe it or not, slightly optimistic.
Yeah. No, listen. I feel your pain, man. I was watching that play live. And I was like, oh, no, this is the worst thing that can happen because you at least have the overtime right there in front of you. They could have easily won the game as well as we all were watching. But look, here's the deal. They're still in it, and it's not because of who they are, but it's because of who the division is. This division isn't good. Nick, I was ready to call you yesterday and say, look, I'm ready to concede that the Buffalo Bills are bad.
Are not very good.
You've been trying to convince me
no, they're not good.
all year that the Buffalo Bills aren't real. They're not contenders. And then Cam does this. and you give them a little hope, and you give them another week. This team really isn't good, but when you look at the record, they were 5-2 coming into this game, right? So they lost to a team with a good record, and Cam had the game right there at his fingertips. They didn't get it done, and you know, they're still in it. So let's see how they bounce back next week. But this is going to be hard, Nick. This is going to be extremely hard to dig themselves out of this one.
I would love to paint an optimistic picture here, but Kevin Wildes took the cake with that. If we're talking about you know who's not mathematically eliminated? The Jets. You know why? Because we're only through week 8. It's impossible to be mathematically eliminated right now.
Okay,
but
looking up.
As a wise man once said, it ain't great. It was all right there for the taking. They were either going to score the winning touchdown or kick the field goal and go into overtime. Josh Allen was looking the exact way Josh Allen has looked his entire career, except for that 1-month mirage to start this season. And the Patriots were going to be right there in it. But instead, my guy Cam fumbled. Now you're 2-5. And even if the Bills aren't good, and they're not, right now as we sit here today, what's today, November 2nd? November 2nd, 2020. I have a declaration to make. It could change, but right now, this moment, the best quarterback in the AFC East is Tua Tagovailoa. I've seen enough, as Dave Wasserman would say. Oh, really? Okay.
Because he threw for
Josh
90
Allen
yards?
stinks. No, because he's not the other 3 guys. Because right now, it would have been Fitzpatrick. Because the way Cam is playing, and I love Cam, the way he's playing, he's ineligible. The way Darnold has played, he's ineligible. And Josh Allen is Josh Allen. He is making himself ineligible. And so even if the Bills are coming back to the pack, you got some ground to make up on Miami. So I don't think it's over for New England. I will agree with you there. When I predicted they'd win 10 games, I predicted they'd start 4-6. So I do think the schedule does soften at the end of the year, Jenna. But right now, that was a game you had to have, and you gave it away because Cam made a crushing mistake that you just can't make.
So, Brandon, let me ask you this. How much does it surprise you that Cam Newton has been playing this way the last couple of weeks? We're going to dive into a lot later, but I got to ask, was that sort of your takeaway, that another game where Cam Newton talked all week about, I got to protect the ball, this is on me, I can't turn the ball over, and then you saw what happened there at the end?
I'm shocked because I'm going back to the beginning of the season where we were like, wow, we don't know what we're going to get out of Cam Newton. Then he comes in and he has like 15 rushes. He looks phenomenal. And then he goes into Seattle. He throws the ball around the field and he looks phenomenal. And then COVID hit. So for me, I've been chopping up the last couple weeks to COVID, but it's getting to that point now where guys in that locker room don't want to hear, oh, I am letting the team down. So that's the Cam Newton side. But also there's a Bill Belichick side. I would say that this is Bill Belichick's worst outing as a coach and a GM. He needs to come out and tell us what his plan is. Are we just building this thing up for next year, or are we really trying to compete? Because if you're really trying to compete, then you would get some guys around Cam Newton. Name their tight ends. Right. Name their wide receivers. Who is contributing? It can't all be on Cam Newton. So for me, there's more to the discussion than just Cam Newton.
Yeah. And Jenna, and one other thing, maybe don't go for a surprise onside kick right when you've tied the game and Buffalo can't move the ball.
It's fine.
That was a critical.
It's fine. I like it.
Maybe don't go for a surprise onside kick in that spot, Jenna.
All right, let's move on. Play a little drawing a blank now. Guys, what was this? Bears receiver Javon Wims ejected after this little scene took place. The fake chain snatch, punch to the head. Why punch to someone wearing a helmet? This on Saints defensive back Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. A possible suspension on the board for Wims. Brandon, back to you. Bears wide receiver Javon Wims getting ejected was blank.
Personal. And this is serious. You know, there's so much emphasis around the head. There's so much emphasis around protecting guys and concussions. And this guy could easily have a concussion. And this is bad. So for me, it was personal, and he took it way too far.
So here's the thing, though. America is calling this a fake chain snatching. Au contraire, mon ami. A drive previous, Gardner Johnson stole Wim's mouthpiece. Stole his mouthpiece, threw it on the ground. A couple plays later, Foles had to throw it off the field. Watch the tape, America. He was trying to steal the mouthpiece back. He didn't quite get it, and then he went with the old 1-2. So that's what was going on there. I can't condone this behavior, but I can be entertained by it, Wilds.
I also don't condone it. Brandon, I also think there should be a suspension, not only because it's a shot to the head, but also because it had no effect. It was basically a Kobe Matt Barnes, but you actually hit the person and he still didn't move. So I would agree with a suspension.
He definitely felt it. Wow. He definitely felt that.
Didn't look
All right,
like
let's
it.
take a turn. Talk about someone else who felt it yesterday, Baker Mayfield. If only his play was as consistently good as his commercials. Another tough outing for the Browns yesterday. It'll be sure to spark some fun conversation on this show. I cannot wait. We're back right after this. Stay with us.
Unfair.